Hello Sewinthemoment friends, my name's Mim and I make sock dolls. Today I'm going to take you on a tutorial that will teach you how to make a sock doll, a headband. Of course you can apply this to other dolls and even children if you'd like to. Okay, our list of materials. First I have a sock doll that I made. Her name's Lorelei and she's an owl. Then we have some beads for ornamentation. You could use sequins, any kind of little beads that you like. I've got some thread, a couple of pieces of wool felt to make my flowers, and the most important piece of equipment is my rickrack. I use mini rickrack. This is actually vintage rickrack, but you can buy mini rickrack at haberdashery stores or places like Spotlight. So this is just a piece of rickrack. I've got my scissors and my needle and thread too. So I've threaded a piece of thread already and put a knot at the end. You need about the distance from your hand to your elbow when you're sewing. That's as much as you need. If you use more than that, you'll find that your thread gets tangled. Okay, let's start off first. We've got two pieces of wool felt. I cut them so that they're about the size, a little square that sits nicely if it's a flower, about on the size of her head. So yeah, you really want to make yours relatively. These ones are about an inch square, a couple of centimetres square. So first I'm going to go ahead and round the corners of the square, just really roughly. Then I'm going to cut into it. I don't use a pattern to make my flowers, I like them all to be individual. So I'm trying to cut a 5-petal flower here, so I'm just cutting two. I'm thinking about a star in my head as I cut it, because a star has 5 points. Well, some stars do. So here we go, we're cutting in. This one's a little bit, must be camera shy, a little bit wonky, but do you know what? It doesn't worry me at all. It's going to have that real flower look to it. So we'll try again with the next one. One of these flowers is going to sit on top of the headband and the other one's going to sit underneath. So it's almost like a double flower headband. So let's cut another one. So we cut out our first little indent. They're just like a V with curvy edges at the top. We cut out another one so we can see that. And our last one. So if any of your, because you had a square, if any of your petals have little sharp square looking edges, just grab your scissors and lop little bits off the side and turn them a little bit more curvy. You don't want square ends. So this one was particularly bad. There we go, we've just rounded them off. Okay, so we've got two flowers, and when they sit on top of Lorelei's head, they look about the right size. If they're too long, or petals are too long, just give them a cut, a trim back to make them roughly the size that you're looking for. So we've got little Lorelei. We're going to measure her headband for her. We do that by just simply putting it around her head in the position where it will sit. So I go across the forehead, around the back of the neck, the bottom of the neck. I'll show you. You can see there. Okay, and where it crosses over, I'm going to allow about 1 centimetre crossover. Just trim that off. I'll put it on nice and tight. Make sure that it's not sitting baggy, because we don't want it to sit baggy. And we're going to hold it together with your 2 fingers and slip it off. Now I'm going to check that the loop doesn't have any twists in it, and then I'm going to start to stitch it together. Okay, picking it up, and it's going to be nice and tight. The loop is there. Now you can do this by machine. I am doing it by hand today, so that if you don't have a machine, you'll be able to still make this headband. What I'm wanting to do is put a little stitch just backwards and forwards in the one place, just to increase its strength. If you're using a machine, you can obviously just sew backwards and forwards, just like that. But I'm actually going it crossways, not up and down. So you sew that backwards and forwards for a little bit. Until I feel the headband's nice and strong. It's not going to come apart. When you're sewing for children, you've got to think about it and maybe add twice as many stitches as you normally would. You want to make sure that it's nice and secure and it's strong and it's not going to come apart. Okay, so we've sewn backwards and forwards. I'll just do one extra stitch and a little bit of a knot on the top. Just by sewing a knot, you just do a little stitch and you thread your needle through the loop. Pull tight. Okay, that's nice and secure now. Yep, it's not going to come apart. When children are playing with toys, you consider whether they put things in their mouth. So normally by age 3, children aren't putting things in their mouth anymore. But if you've got a child that likes to suck on things, don't let them play with things like headbands unsupervised. Okay, so we've got our headband ready. Our thread's still connected. I did tie a little knot, but it's still connected. And I'm going to just simply place one of the flowers, just going through near the middle, one of the flowers on top of the headband. There's actually not a top and a bottom yet. I'm trying to cover over the little join. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to take my glasses. What old age does to you, isn't it? I'm going to take my glasses and I'm going to just have a look and see where am I going to be covering up that little join. There we go. We're just going to put that on top. We're going to go back through basically our old stitches and out through the flower now. And we're just going to put that one on and make sure it's on nice and tight. And then I'm going to take the other flower and join it on too. Okay, so that one's good. It's nice and tight. It's covering the join. Just got a little bit of thread there. I'm going to trim back. Okay. Alright, and then we take the other one, we put it on the bottom. So when we've come out the bottom side of the headband, simply just you take your needle, go through the flower, back through the other side of the flower where your stitch is going to be, and then pull it down and onto the headband. Okay, there we go. We're lining it up with the other flower. We're going through the entire rick-rack join, out through the other side of the flower. My thread's just got caught on the petal. There we go. We're just going to sew backwards and forwards through the double flowered headband. Once I'm nice and confident that it's secure, going to talk a lot about secure, aren't we? I just don't want my efforts to come undone. So, well, a few times through the flowers, a little bit of fluff there, 3 times. So we probably, maybe about 5 times until you've got a nice secure headband. Then I'm going to take one of my little pearls. I'm going to work out first maybe which side is my preferred side of the headband, which is my favourite flower. Oh, it's definitely that one. Okay, so that's going to be the top of my headband, and I've come out, my thread's right there, ready to go back in again. First I'm going to go through this little pearl, pick up the needle, through the little pearl, thread it on my needle, and then back down through the flower again, all the way to the other side. No pearls necessary for the other side because that'll make it sit up on her head instead of sitting flat, and we don't want that. Back through. Now you don't have to use pearls, you could use a little bead, a sequin and a bead. You can use a variety of things. Sometimes I use some DMC cotton and just do a little cross on top of the flower so that you can see a different colour too. So if it's a white flower, I might do a purple cross or something in keeping with the sock doll. This one, I've chosen pink for her flowers and a neutral colour for her headband, and the pink is because it's going to bring out Lorelei's cheeks. Here, just here, she's got beautiful pink cheeks, and it's just going to highlight those. Okay, so I'm all done. Now the bead's nice and secure. I'm going to tie a little knot on the back flower, just really little, not obvious. So we're going to tie one, we're going to go through our little stitches and secure it off with a knot. Like I said before, when you're sewing for children, sew 2 knots. Yeah, make sure that it's nice and tight. It's not going to come undone when they're playing. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my needle in and out between the 2 flowers. Can you see that? I'm going to pull it all the way out. I'm going to take my scissors and just clip it on the inside. So now the thread's hidden too, so we don't have messy thread ends when you're making a sock doll, and I'll tell you that in any of my patterns. I always take my thread back inside the doll. I don't leave loose ends anywhere. You don't want them. They don't look nice. Okay, let's give you your headband, Lorelei. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. We're just going to place it on. Oh, just going to mold your head a little bit. There we go, I just couldn't get my fingers underneath it. It's not normally this hard, it must be because of the... it's just twisted there, that's why. Okay, so Lorelei has a little headband. She looks very cute. If you like this tutorial, you might like some of my patterns. They're all step-by-step photo instructions. Or you join me again for another tutorial. I'll be doing lots of simple sock doll accessories that you can use for your sock dolls or any doll at all. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.